Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. It's Anton here with Let's Talk About Life with Anton. Now, I'm going to continue on with my short stories. Again, this is another holiday, and this one is again another classic. I can't believe I get into so many situations like this, but look, I don't know. Just seems to happen to me and my family for some reason. It was the summer of 2016. We decided to go to Boston, Massachusetts. So we were going to stay in Boston for a few days and do like a road trip with the kids down to like where were we going to go to like Rhode Island, like Connecticut and all over really. And yeah, it was going to be really cool. All excited. We decided to fly out of Dublin because Dublin is one of the only airports that has that pre-US clearance. So when you get to the States, you don't have to go through the whole passport control, immigration, all that sort of stuff. It's all done in Dublin before you actually get on the flight. So this was July 2016. We packed the car up and we went down to Dublin. So excited. Everyone was buzzing. The girls were bouncing in the back of the car. It was like, wow, this is just amazing. Love going to the States. So, yeah, how cool is that? Anyway, we get to the airport. The flight is about 11:30 in the morning, possibly about midday. I like to get to airports really early because I am one of those travelers that likes to be first on the plane and all that sort of stuff. So we decided to get to the airport round about 8 o'clock in the morning. So it was 3-4 hours before our flight was due to take off. However, we had to go through the initial passport control and security. We had to drop our bags. We had to do our bag drop off. And then we had to go to the US area and go through the whole immigration thing as well. So 3 or 4 hours. I know it sounds quite a lot for to be there before a flight, but in actual fact, it's actually was, you know, it gave us enough time. We didn't have to panic. So that's what I was thinking anyway. So we get to the check-in desk. Now we were flying with an Irish airline called Aer Lingus, and they do loads of flights to the States. So I got there early and I walked up to the desk, passports in hand, all the documentation that they needed. And I got asked the question, "Sir, would there be any possibility that you would be interested in taking another flight?" So I'm initially thinking to myself, what? Sorry, what? You know, I've just driven down to Dublin Airport. I was all dazed and a bit over the place. So she said to me again, lady, one of the staff behind the desk, "Sir, would you and your family be interested in taking a later flight? We have overbooked this flight and we were just wondering, there's probably about 4 or 5 passengers who we've overbooked for and we need to get them on another flight. I know there's 4 of you traveling today. Would you be interested in getting another flight?" As soon as that sentence had finished, one of my girls behind started squealing and asking her mummy that, if we were, are we not going on holiday? What's happening? I thought we were going to America, blah, blah, blah. So I'm like, okay, guys, calm down. Let me get all the information first and then I'll come back to you. But at that point, I can hear my wife going, "No, no, no, not interested. No, we're getting on this flight. We've booked it. We're getting on." The girls are like, "Yep, yep, mum's right. We're getting on this flight." So you can imagine I've got all this abuse from the back trying to listen to the lady at the front. Anyway, eventually everything calmed down. I said, look, sorry, what, what do I get out of it? You know, I'm not just going to swap for the sake of it. When's the next flight? And what am I getting out of it? Then she said, well, sir, obviously because of the inconvenience, we are willing to pay you €600 per person. There's four of us flying. That's €2,400. That's about £2,000 sterling. Don't know what it is in dollars, but anyway, it's a good chunk of money. That actually, at the time, sort of 7, 8 years, 9 years ago, that actually was the flights of the price of the flights anyway. That's how much I paid for them because I booked them early. So I'm thinking to myself, okay, I can go on this holiday 6 or 8 hours later, and I've suddenly now got another €2,400 in my pocket to spend on the holiday. Absolutely, 100%. Yes, we're in. Thanks very much. Where do I sign? Blah, blah, blah. I am hearing this ruckus behind me because everyone's starting to cry. My wife's getting really annoyed and angry, saying, I don't care about the money. We're getting on this flight. You can't do that to the girls. It's not fair on them. They're so excited. And I'm going, guys, we're getting €2,400. When's the next flight? The lady said, look, there should be a flight out. Your flight's at 11:30 this morning. There should be another flight about 7, 8 o'clock tonight. But if I can't get you on that one, it will be the next morning. But we'll put you up in a hotel and you get all your money. Again, I'm going, okay. So, what's the difference in arriving at a destination like 10, 12, 14 hours later? That's me. My family had other thoughts. So I could hear them all arguing and stuff like that. So eventually the lady said, look, obviously I can see this is a little bit distressing for you, sir. Here's some breakfast vouchers. Go off and have breakfast, discuss it with your family, come back in 20 minutes, half an hour, and let me know. And we'll sort it out. Brilliant. No problem. Thanks very much. We go off, we have breakfast, get all this abuse. I then promise the girls that we can go shopping. I promise my wife a new handbag. We can buy some new clothes. I'm basically promising all this money away, even though €2,400 better off. I pretty much spent it before I even had it. So I finally get the agreement. Okay, Dad, no problem. Take the money and we'll go either tonight or worst case scenario tomorrow morning first thing. Brilliant. Walk back up to the desk. In the corner of my eye, I see 4 passengers with big smiley faces, big grins on their face, looking at me. Hi, it's me. We're ready to do the deal now. Yes, we'll take the money and thanks very much. Oh, sir, do you know, I could just see it was so much stress for you. Your family was so upset. Don't you worry about it. I've got these 4 lovely people that are more than happy to go on that later flight, and obviously we'll give them the money. No. You said to me that I could come back in half an hour and I know, sir, but you were really stressed. Your kids were crying and stuff like that. So you can imagine me. I'm now looking at my wife and my kids going, really? Really? Is this what you want? In one hand, I had €2,400 and then in the other hand, I've now got 0. Come on. So cut a long story short, we got on that flight on time. We didn't get the €2,400. 4 lovely passengers got that money given to them. So fair enough. We get to Boston. It rained for the first 18 hours of the day. Absolute torrential rain. We didn't go out. We didn't see any sights. We stayed in the hotel. Absolute disaster. However, the hotel was lovely. Boston eventually was an absolute blast. But when I got to the hotel, sorry, I'm sort of skipped there. When we unpacked the first night at the hotel, we unpacked everything, and my wife said, "Oh, can you pass me my jewellery?" Now, my wife has some lovely, lovely, lovely jewellery she keeps in this zipped folder. when we go traveling abroad. And some of the jewelry's been handed down. It's very expensive. It's beautiful jewelry, but it's been handed. Some of it's been handed down. Some of it's I bought for her. So you can imagine it's quite a lot of money and very valuable. And it's the last thing you want to do is lose it. So I'm scrambling around my bag looking for it, and I said, "It's not here." "What do you mean it's not here?" I said, "It's not here. I haven't got it." So then I'm thinking, oh, when I went through went through security, everything was out on trays. I must have put that blue bag in the grey plastic tray to go through the X-ray, and I've left it. I mean, I don't know what's happened. I don't remember seeing it. I've left it. So what happens? I have to phone the airport, phone Dublin Airport. No one's seen it. No one knows anything about it. Keep putting me through different people. Absolute disaster. So the bag was lost. Like, I don't know, it just disappeared. And we had 2 weeks in Massachusetts on a road trip, and my wife had no jewelry with her. I was annoyed that I didn't get my 2,400 euros. My wife was so upset that a lot of this jewelry, it had gone, and I got the blame for it. I actually got the blame for everything. It was a good holiday, really enjoyed it, but it was such a disaster because I knew I had to claim all this jewelry back on insurance, and some of it had been handed down, and your worst nightmare, isn't it, really? So we get back to Dublin Airport eventually, absolutely jet lagged. I have to get off the flight at 8:30 in the morning. I go to the lost property where there's a couple of police women on duty. I have to go and report the missing jewelry bag. I had to list all the jewelry in it. My wife's there. We're absolutely exhausted. The kids are like crying, and I'm there trying to remember how much everything costs and what was in the case and everything. And they were had to check CCTV, and it was an absolute disaster. But anyway, it'd been reported. I got a number that you need for the insurance company, and then drove a few hours up the road back home. We got home, and on the stairs was a zipped bag with all the jewelry in it. I hadn't packed it. I'd left it on the stairs in the house. Do you know, sometimes you can't make these stories up. Absolute classic. So from losing out 2,400 euros on Aer Lingus tickets to then supposedly losing a bag of jewelry for an entire 2 weeks, to be reminded that it was my fault that the jewelry had been lost, and then to come and it sitting there on the stairs. I hadn't packed it. I'd obviously taken it out to check passports and hadn't put it back in again. So it was a win, sort of, but there's another classic story for you. Take care. And if you like that story, or if you want to hear any of the other stories, I've got some brilliant stories about meeting celebrities and stories about cruise ships and stuff like that. So, yeah, check them out. Take care. See you soon. Bye.